In your opinion, what's the best Facebook groups to move cards?
Watched you at the National, and it just seemed super frustrating, and they just wouldn't budge. Did you ever,
Yeah.
I'm just curious, did you ever circle back?
I see how people talk about comps when they buy and sell cards,
Yeah.
but I don't think like every comp is comparable.
And we are live with the Eric Michael Show. We are back here. We talk about business, sports cards, money, entrepreneurship. You guys can call into the phone number below. I'll start taking questions in a few minutes from here. And what I want to talk about to start this off, because I think it's interesting, and the reason I'm talking about this is because there was just a record-breaking sale, the highest sports card sale ever for $12.9 something million. It was a dual logo man autograph of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. I actually think that sale was kind of high, to be honest. But the hobby is so much different from 2015, from when I got in, all the way to today. And I want to talk about the differences and how to make money today. And there's going to be a free PDF below. There's no strings attached. I promise there's nothing for sale. It's perfectly free. And I'm going to take you step by step in this PDF. It's kind of going to repeat what I talk about here of how to actually make money in 2025, because it's different from 2023, it's different from 2020, and it's different from 2015. So before I go into it, let me show you guys something. So this is if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about here, this is what I'm talking about. And if you look here, there's a record-breaking sale. This Kobe Bryant Jordan card, I can't believe it sold for $12.9 million, by the way. This is insane. The Mickey Mantle card sold for a little bit less, I believe. And this is not even the most valuable card out there. I don't really think it's close. There's three 1952 tops, PSA 10 mantles. There's a logo man from LeBron's rookie year of Jordan and LeBron. I don't think it's autographed, or it might be, but that card might be worth more than this. So the reason I think the stuff like this is happening is because sports cards is just getting so big, and the people that are buying stuff like this, a lot of them are like hedge funds and like people worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Now this industry is getting so big for investment as well. You're getting these tycoons that are coming in and buying stuff like this because it's kind of like you're buying a piece of history, or you're buying a piece of art. It's kind of the same concept, right? So that's why I'm bringing up like how to make money today, because it is a little bit different. All right. So how to make money today. So if I go into this real quick, it's important to understand how I made money in 2015 when sports cards first started. So this is actually the first sports card I ever bought, which is pretty interesting. I bought this card for $500 in August of 2015, I think it was, and I sold it for $888 a week later, or maybe 2 weeks later. And so sports cards was very different. Number one, you could buy a card and get it graded right away. So what I used to do, this is going to sound crazy, I used to buy cards on eBay, ship them right to my friend in Texas, who would then drive every Friday to the Beckett facility. The place to send cards back then, modern cards, is Beckett, not PSA. And he would drop them off, and he'd have them back the same day. This is no joke. The same day service would cost me $20 or $25, I think. And they used to do something called min grade. So I'd send it in, and I would tell them, hey, if this card doesn't get a 9.5, which is what you want to do if you're sending a card to Beckett, just don't grade the card, and they would only charge me $8. So in one day, the card would be graded, and I'd be able to get 70 to 80% of my cards to get a 9.5. However, the downfall back then is the margins weren't as big because sports cards weren't as popular. So the average card I'd buy was $200, and I'd have it back really quick, and it would only cost me $25 to get it graded, but I would make like $100 profit or $125 profit. So it was a lot faster, but the margins were smaller. Now it takes a month or 2 months to get cards back from grading, but you get 2, 3, 4 times your money. So it's just kind of give and take. Also, it was a little bit easier to grade cards back then because nobody really graded cards. More people grade cards today, although I think less people are grading cards now because PSA is getting a lot more difficult, and they're doing that on purpose. So it raises the value of a PSA 10. So that's kind of like from before and after. So now, like, how to make money today. So back then you could buy anything really, and it would just like grade well, and you would sell it. Now you have to be a little bit more picky, and you have to also time the market as well. So you've probably heard me say this stuff before. So number one, you got to be picky. You can only buy the good stuff. So just to give you an example of the good stuff. So like for football, you want to be buying Prism and Optic, some Donruss as well, because that's the stuff that's liquid. That's the stuff that appreciates before the season begins. That stuff's easy to sell. If you look here, I could show you an example. I share my screen right here. All right, let's share my screen. So here's a good example. So this is a card not to buy, right? And this is how like nuanced it is today. So Jaden Daniels, let me look this card up. So PSA 10, I think this is the card I was talking about. Yeah, so this is a good example. So this is an Optic Preview pink PSA 10. This is different from Optic. Optic and Optic Preview are slightly different. Optic Preview is like, it's the preview, comes out before Optic, obviously. And Optic is much better. It's preferred. People like it more. But this card has actually went down as the season's gotten closer. So you could see, like, in May, this card was $128. Now the last sale was $92. So you have to know the right type of stuff to buy that actually appreciates or at least stays the same as the season gets closer. You got to buy the right stuff, okay? So you got to be picky because you got to be quick with this stuff. You could make money, right? You could easily buy it and sell it, in this 1 month time frame, but you're buying an asset that's going down as the season gets closer, and it's not going down because Jaden Daniels is a bad player. It's just going down because that product is less and less in demand because like a Jaden Daniels collector, or Jaden Daniels investor, whatever you want to call him, just doesn't prefer that type of card, I guess is the best way to say it. So like Prism and Optic for football, and National Treasures and Flawless are like higher end stuff as well. That's bring conversation. And then for basketball, it's the same thing. It's Prism, it's Optic, it's Donruss. Those are really the main three. And then for baseball, it's like Topps, Top Series, Topps Update, and Bowman Chrome. So you got to buy the right stuff. I've discovered it's kind of hard to make money not buying that type of stuff. Like you could, but like I just like to stick to, the stuff that's the easiest to make money. And there's so much of it out there because there's so many cards now because people are breaking all over the place. There's just no need to deviate. So like that's number one. And then number two, adding in a layer on top of that is Pokemon. So Pokemon, in terms of making money, was like not even a thought when I first got into cards. Now Pokemon is really, really stable. And I actually tell my students like 15 to 20% of your purchases, man, should really go to Pokemon. Like there's really good stuff. Like here, let me share I'm sharing my screen. Like check this out. Check this out. You want to be amazed? So this is a card. Oh man, what was it called? This is it. Yeah, this is it. Check this card out, right? If we go to, so I don't know if you guys know this, there's a website called gemrate.com, and this will just quickly tell you the gem rates of cards. So if you look here and you look up this Pokemon card, what's the numbering on it? Cynthia's Garchomp 232. 232. All right. Check out this card. This card of Pokemon grades at 55% of the time. So it gets a PSA 10 55% of the time, which is great. Solid. And also, if you look here, this card raw does like 185, probably around $200 if it's in good condition, and 10s are 550. Those margins are pretty good. And the great thing about it is Pokemon, you could see, so it's slightly going down over time because there's more PSA 10s that come into existence. And then it'll probably stabilize and start to slowly go up. That's kind of what I've seen with Pokemon and the trend. But this stuff is much more like stable than sports cards. There's not much like volatility. Like with cards, it's great because you could play off the volatility. Like you could buy a card low, get it graded, it could sell for higher. Like also, like not only did it get a PSA 10, hopefully, but it, skyrocketed in value. This stuff is a lot more stable, and right, because you don't have to worry about Pikachu getting hurt. To show you a great example, this is actually a pretty extreme example. So like to show you how crazy Pokemon is, this is a really popular Pokemon card. I had students buying this hand over fist when I think it came out in 2023, and it just like I don't know why, because I'm not the Pokemon expert. I can't tell you why this skyrocketed. I know people love the card. You can see how much this card has went up in value. And usually this is what I don't see this with Pokemon, but I see it's much more stable over the long term because once again, Pikachu can't get hurt, right? There's, so many guys in sports that just don't pan out. It's just kind of how it works. So Yeah, that's kind of like sports cards in 2025 in a nutshell. You have to be a little bit more picky. Other callers? No callers yet. Well, I'll let the callers start to come in. So if you guys want, you can feel free to call into that phone number down below, and we can start to let this thing rip. But while I wait for some callers to come in, uh, let's look at some cards to buy and actually execute on what the hell I just talked about. So there's multiple different ways to make money. So a lot of times I buy cards already graded, because they're a little bit more expensive. And actually, now that I'm thinking of it, this is a card. I guess I didn't win. Damn. I just want to look at this card real quick. I bid on this card yesterday. I didn't win. Oh man, did I forget to bid on this? Oh, I was looking to buy this card to crack it out and regrade it and take a swing and see if it would grade a PSA 10. But I think I forgot to bid on it. Shit. Well, you can see I'm not perfect. Obviously, I was gonna bid on that. Oh well. But like a good example right now. So like right now we're in baseball, or not? We're not in baseball. Oh, well, we got our first caller. Let it rip, and let me know if you guys can hear me or hear the caller through the. You got Eric. You're live.
Hey, Eric, it's Travis. Can you hear me?
What's up, Travis? How may I help?
Oh, I talked to you Monday about some of those Pokemon cards,
Nice.
and I was looking last night at Cynthia's and Garchomp,
Yep.
and I feel like everything I see on eBay, the corner is just not good. I just feel like there's whitening on them. Do you think I know they're 55% PSA. Do you think there's a time where like all of the good ones have been graded and it's hard to find another? Because the other thing is I went to that card show on the weekend and saw that card in person from somebody and would have got a really good deal. But I looked at the back of it. It's just wouldn't have got it. There's no chance with the one on the back.
Yeah. So I will. What's your question? I guess.
So my question is I have a 55% gem rate, but
Yes.
at some point, is that because all of the good ones have graded now and all the ones that are left on eBay are
Oh,
the
no.
bad ones?
No.
So through about every single one that they had on eBay yesterday, and I
Well,
couldn't necessarily find a one that didn't have whitening on the back,
my
unless it was really expensive.
my straightforward answer to you would be: it sounds like it's just a lack of skill. I could be wrong, but let's look on eBay and just look together. So let's see if we can find anything. So Cynthia's Garchomp, 232. Let's just go to like newly listed, and let's look at ones that are not graded. So you might have a little bit of a delay here because you're on the phone with me. But let's take a look. So really, Pokemon, you just want to make sure it's centered well, and there's no edge chipping. So this card is centered decent, and I don't see any edge chipping. So what I'll do is I'll look at the seller's other items to see if they graded cards or not. And this guy obviously does not grade cards, or I highly doubt this guy grades cards. He might grade cards. Maybe. But this card, it looks pretty good. It's like I'd give this card like a 30 to 40% chance of grading a 10. But that's just the first card I looked at. Let's see what else we got here.
Now, do you think the centering is 55-45?
Let's see, where was that one? Yeah, probably 55-45. It's not perfect, but it's kind of close. So like that card, if I could get it for like 180 to 200, I'd let it rip. Keep in mind, and also what I would do, or what I would definitely do, is I would look at PSA 10s. So like, if you look at PSA 10s, it'll tell you, does it need to be perfectly centered or not? So like this card is pretty well centered. This PSA 10 I'm looking at, yeah, this card's pretty perfect. This card is not as well centered. The top is smaller than the bottom, but the back is pretty good. So I'll look at other PSA 10s to see like how much leeway do I have with centering. This card's a little off centered, but the back's okay as well. So I'll just keep looking at PSA 10s, and just see like, are they all perfectly centered? Are they not all perfectly centered? How much leeway do I have? Um, and will also help you determine like kind of what cards to buy as well. Because yeah, you're right. Like a decent amount on eBay are going to be in shitty condition. You kind of have to sift through them. But like this one is not bad, but it has edge chipping there on the left hand side.
So I think for that guy, he has 0 for his review. Is that something that is very common? Because I've looked at a lot too, where like a lot of these people with Pokemon cards have no review, like 2 reviews, and I'm afraid of fakes or something.
No, that's okay. That means they probably don't grade cards because they're not like too involved in sports cards. They probably just break. I prefer someone with two feedback than like 10,000 feedback. To be honest, it's not like you're gonna get scammed. eBay will give you your money back. God forbid the 1% chance that they just don't ship you the card. So like, there's no risk.
Or if they ship you a fake or something like that, eBay's pretty good at.
Yeah, they'll give you your money back. Just show them proof.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about that. You got to keep in mind like eBay doesn't want that on their site. So if one guy just does that to one person, they just ban the person. So yeah,
Okay, cool.
I wouldn't be worried about buying cards from those guys. I've bought in cards from people with 0 feedback in freaking Philippines before, and it's been fine.
Yeah, like when I was looking at some of these Pokemon cards, they had 1/3 of them had very low reviews, so it made me kind of nervous. But maybe I need to get in there and
it's
take a
like
look at some of those.
it's like people will be like, "Oh my god, like I don't want to buy a card from overseas." Like because they're skeptical. Like if you buy a card from England, it takes an extra day to come to America, and that person probably doesn't grade cards as well. But like I like to buy cards from overseas. I like to buy cards from people with 0 feedback. You don't want to do deals with someone like me, right? So, yeah, that's kind of what you want to look for in some messed up way.
All right, yeah, awesome. Thanks. I'll keep looking through eBay, and so basically centering just 55, 45, and then
Yeah, Pokemon.
for the
Try
corners, just no white, or can there be a little bit of white?
No
Or
white.
Nothing.
No white, and you try to get the centering as close to perfect as possible. A lot of them are well centered. Yeah. So hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Yep, that helps. I'll keep watching, and I appreciate that.
Awesome. Cool. Go crush it out there. Keep me updated on how it's going.
Yep, we'll do, Eric.
All right. Thank you, Travis. Good luck. Another one? Cool. I'm sure the queue of callers will start to begin. If you guys have questions, feel free to call into that number below. I will answer some questions in the chat in the meantime. So Dylan, hello Eric, and good morning. How do you feel about investments in J-Dub and Jalen Williams? Yeah, I wouldn't just in terms of long-term investments. They never pan out. Jalen Williams is coming off an amazing year. What are the chances he replicates that, right? To maintain the values at, if you just look at, just take, let's look here. Share my screen. So if we look, gotta go live on Instagram. So we look here like Jalen Williams. I actually don't know what his value is, but I'm just assuming it's up, obviously because he played pretty well. Oh, I spelled Jalen wrong for sure. Jalen. Did I spell Jalen wrong? Let me see. Is it J? No, it's Jalen. Let's just use this as an example. This is his PSA 10, and you could clearly see, right, in the past like 180 days, right, it popped up, from like, in the beginning of the playoffs, it was $19, and now the last sale is $90. So ask yourself, do you want to be buying something at the absolute hype? Probably not. The way to make money, just like think about it, right? The way to make money is not buying Bitcoin now while it's $100,000, right? The people that made hundreds of millions and millions and billions of dollars are the people that bought it when it was $50, $100, $500, right? So like something is only an opportunity when no one else sees it as an opportunity. So, could it go up? Of course, anything can go up, anything can go down, but you just don't, you want to try to get in the opportunity before others see it as an opportunity, right? Hopefully that makes sense. You want to buy or sell high, not buy high and try to sell for higher. It usually just doesn't work out. Like, just think about it, right? Has anyone coming off like a championship or like their value skyrocketing in value came the next year and played even better? It's so rare, right? It's so rare. So my advice to you and what I would do if it was me, I would steer way clear, way clear. Hopefully that helps out a little bit. But we will go back to eBay while we wait for some new callers to come in. I always like this. In the beginning, it's slow, and then boom, it's just like, then there's like an avalanche. Let's look at some cards. Let's look at some cards. I just got a PSA 9 of Caitlin Clark blue. It kind of pissed me off, to be honest. Let's look at Prism cards ending. Let's just see what's out there. Let's just do a nice little general Prism search. Actually, you know what? I lied. I actually have a whole list here. You boys, a whole list. So one of my coaches is he used to play AAA, but he got the AAA baseball and then just never made it to the majors. But he knows like everything there is to know about prospects. Okay, so I have some guys that like I think are potential good buys coming into like buying now, and guys that I think will start for the first time or have a lot of hype in like December, January, February. So like one guy is Justin Crawford. So his dad, oh man, what was his dad's name? Shit, I'm losing it. Carl Crawford, I believe, was his dad. That's his son, and this kid's pretty freaking good, and he plays for the Phillies, and he's a center fielder. So this is someone that I would potentially be looking to purchase, graded cards or not graded cards, to be honest. So let's take a look here. Let's see. Justin he doesn't have a lot. He has a super fractor. So people are not auctioning him. There's no fun. But let's take a look. So blue crater refractor, orange refractor, gold. I feel like this is cheap. Gold, Bowman Chrome, non-autographed PSA 10. Is that? I don't know. I feel like that's cheap. See if we could snag this. 2023 Justin Crawford, Bowman Chrome Gold. Look at the non-autograph. The last PSA 10 did so one actually just sold. What does Raw do? Yeah, Raw does 110. Honestly, I would buy this. I feel like this is an easy one. Oops. I'd pay 225 for this all day. I feel like this has some solid value here. Let's ship this to. We could send this to myself. We'll need to block out that address so people don't show up to my crib. Guy's too high. Gold refractor autograph. I saw a gold refractor autograph for super cheap on here, and then it just kind of disappeared the other day. Let's see what a Justin Crawford blue auto is doing. Got to be careful because there's so many variations. You don't know what the true blue auto is, but this looks like it's true blue autograph. Let's see here. PSA 10 lasted 358, and this guy is asking too much money. Raj did 150, so yeah, PSA 10 is probably around 350. Not bad. You're not allowed to purchase this because I own page strikes. Man, I haven't got one of those in a long time. I think it takes a year to clear out. Once in a while, unfortunately, I'll buy a card and just forget. I did. I'm guilty of it. Unfortunately, I'm guilty of it. Gold refractor. Man, I saw one for so cheap the other day. By the way, like I said, if you guys have questions, feel free to call into the phone number below. And I'll begin to let them rip. But if you guys don't want to call in, I'll be selfish here and look for cards myself. Bryce Eldridge is another one. What's his rookie year? 2023. 2023 Bryce Eldridge. Oh, nope. Let's do minimum. Look at some higher end stuff. Let's do minimum like $500. I don't know. I'm not familiar what his stuff sells for. Let's see. Bryce Eldridge, Bowman Chrome, gold. What does this gold sell for? PSA 10 lasted 3,500. Then in 2,700 it did in May. Kind of high. Let's look at his blue. It was blue 425. PSA 10 did 850. This is all the way in November though. That's not telling me anything. That's a gold wave. Oh, this guy's this guy's just overpriced. Blue. People are kind of overpriced. I don't blame them. Obviously, it is the off season, and the reason I'm looking to buy it, right, is because I believe it's at its lowest point. Here's another one. Tamar Johnson. So he's another guy from 2022. 2022. Gold refractor auto Tamar Johnson. So according to my buddy, he thinks he's gonna gain a lot in value because having a solid season and should start for the first time. Look at gold. PSA 10 did 620. Blue 148. So let's see here. This is all. I have some buddies that all. Man, they on page tracks. I gotta text all. I gotta text my buddies who work there. Let's see if there's any more questions in the chat. Man, you guys are shy today. No one wants to call in. Usually there's a whole queue of callers. My show is on. Oh, thank you for that. Here's a question. Do eBay buyers bother about delivery fees? As a foreign Korean, not North, delivery fee is a bit afraid to start to sell it. So I think what you're asking me is, do eBay buyers, will they pay the delivery fee? You just have to, if you're selling a card, you put that like in with the card. So it'll say like shipping is X amount of money. You put that in before you list it. And if you're selling a card from Korea and you don't want to pay, the shipping costs, then obviously you have to put that in there. I honestly would not, because people are already a little bit skittish of like buying cards from Korea. I'm not. I like to buy cards from Korea and all sorts of places, but a lot of people are. So personally, I would pay for it myself. Might cost you a little bit of money, but you want to be able to build relationships and get that going. Hopefully that helps you out. The Tamar Johnson better lowers K rate. Yeah, especially if I'm going to start to buy them. This is true. Let's look at let's flip this around. While I wait for you guys to start calling in, let's take a look at Topps 2024. Let's just look at random Topps cards from 2024 of, you know what? Do Topps series 2025, excuse me. And let's just see what's ending. So a good guy to always buy is Otani. Let's do like minimum $75. Let's do min bid count of 1. It's like a weird time to buy cards right now because you have the baseball season, the playoffs are kind of coming, and then you have football, which is starting, and obviously I avoid buying football before the season as we're so close because I think most guys are going to go down in value. And then you have basketball. It's kind of like on the cusp. You don't want to get the cards back from grading once the season starts. So it's kind of a weird time to buy. But let's look at something. Let's look at Topps 2025. Let's see here. If you don't know what I'm doing, by the way, 1 mid bin count. So I'm just like, I want to only see cards that have at least 1 bid is what I'm doing, because there's so many people that will start auctions at like $500 and the card's only worth $300 and they have 0 bids. I just don't want to waste my time seeing that stuff. So if you're curious what I'm doing. George Brett, that's a sick card. I love George Brett. Look at this. So Otani, you know what? Let's do Otani. Let's look at some Otani cards to buy. This is you want to talk about a moneymaker? This is it. Topps finest gold out of 50 Otani. I wonder if there's margins with something like this. I have no idea. Topps finest Otani gold. Let's look on card ladder. Let's see if we can find something. Topps finest gold out of 50. Oh, whoops! I just exited out. I don't want to buy anything if there's no sales. I'm sure there are, but there's probably no PSA 10 sales, so I'm gonna move on from that. I just don't like the idea of buying something where there's no PSA 10 sales. Oh, let's see this card. This is an interesting card. So it's a Topps Chrome logo fractor. Otani at a 25. This is a sick card. Look this up. Otani logo fractor at a 25. Let's see here. This is all etched. I don't know what that means, but all etched. Should be on here on market movers, but maybe it's not. Maybe we'll go to card ladder. I use market movers first because I like to see the graphs, and I kind of move over to card ladder if I don't see anything. So okay, so this is an interesting card. So one sold for, so this is at a 25. Look on eBay. I feel like there should be some sales of this. Am I wrong? Am I just typing in wrong or something? There's nothing. So there's one sale of $300 of gold. Let's just look at other variations so I can kind of price this out and see what it's worth. So green at a 99 did 127. Might be a little bit of a newer card. So 127. So, and then a gold at a 50 is probably like double that, like 200 to 250. So this is probably going to end for like $400 to $500 if I had to take a guess. But there's no PSA 10s of it. I know it's a great card, but I can't do it. I can't do it because I don't know what a PSA 10 is going to sell for. Let's see here. This is also a sick card, dude. Otani has some sick cards, and they just sell like crazy. Topps Chrome, let's go refractor. That's a good name. Let's go Otani. Let's go. No sales. Otani. Let's go. I just typed these in wrong. These are like hard cards to find because they're like short printed. Topps Chrome. Let's go refractor. $20.25. Topps Chrome. Let's go Otani. Nothing? Oh my lord. I can't find anything right now. This is rough. Topps Chrome. When did Topps Chrome come out? Let me look this up. When did 2025? Topps Chrome baseball come out? July 23rd. Okay, but there should be sales of it still. Should be sales. You know, we can go back 1 year to 2024 if we, because some of the Otani stuff has great margins and then some of it doesn't. Kind of all over the place. And you just want to make sure, you know, my standard rule is I want to make sure I'm at least doubling my money if I'm sending a card in for grading. Top series, superstar blueprint, 2024 series, blueprint, Otani. Look on card ladder. Let's see, at a 75. Let's see what we got here. One did $50. Probably too low of a card. Not my cup of tea. Let's look at ones only not graded. Bowman Chrome Gold. Nice card, but I see it's off-centered. Topps 50/50 gold. Okay, so these cards are solid. Topps Chrome, Old Otani, 50, 50. And this is number 2. What's it number 2? Is it number to 17? Numbered out of 50. Makes sense. Out of 50. So this is a similar card to 283. I wonder what this card sells for as a PSA 10. And you guys are shy. No callers? No callers? Wow. It's well, I know what's going to happen. One's going to come in and there's going to be this huge queue towards the end. It's kind of what happens every single time. Let's see. We have these are kind of similar cards. Nah. I'm going to stay away. I just can't find proper sales, unfortunately. Let's see. We got some questions here. Oh man. Okay. You guys could, feel free to call into the phone number below. Sorry, Joey Charles. It says your Facebook picture, just the profile picture is up there in front of everybody. I didn't know it would do that. What are the best places to find the value for cards? I saw you use GemRate, but are there any others for sports cards collectibles? So, see, this is a great question to call in with. But to find GemRate doesn't show me the value of cards. GemRate just shows me the percent of cards that get sent in versus how many get a PSA 10. So, if 1,000 cards go into PSA of a certain Otani card and 500 of them get a 10, the GemRate is 50%. That just shows me how hard or easy it is to grade a PSA 10. I try to avoid cards that are like, really, really hard to grade, like 5%, 10%, 20%, because, if a card's 40, 50% getting a 10, I believe my skill level is higher than the general population. So I believe I should be able to get that to like 60, 70, 80% PSA 10, which is kind of where I usually want to be, unless I'm buying like a weird high-end card. Then it's just kind of like, a free-for-all. But the best place to find value for cards, so I go to Market Movers first, usually, and then Card Ladder. We have to pay for these sites. They're like 20, 30, 50 bucks a month, something like that. And then I go to eBay sales as well. And then also you go to 130 point. So to answer your question, the free way to do it, 130point.com is probably your best bet. 130point.com. And then it'll show you best offers. So on eBay, for some reason, they don't show you when a sales or best offer. So if someone's asking like $500 or best offer, and this card gets sold, it just shows $500 with a line through it. It doesn't show what the actual offer accepted was. Was it 200? Was it 300? Was it 400? But 130point.com will show you that data. So 130point.com is the best place to find values for cards. And then when you get a little bit more advanced, you could use Card Ladder, or you could use Market Movers, which is my preference. Card Ladder has like a little bit more data, but Market Movers, in my opinion, is a little bit cleaner. And I like to look at graphs and analytics, but they kind of do the same thing at the end of the day. So hopefully that helps. Good morning, Eric. I have a Caleb Williams downtown PSA 10. What is a good price to sell this, and what would you pay for this card? Are you offering it to me? I'll take that. I'll take that as you're offering it to me as well. So I'll just look it up with you, and I guess it's not a card I'm looking for. So like I might lowball you, so don't get offended. But let's look at Caleb Williams downtown. PSA 10. So me personally, I would sell this card. I'd look to get like 1250 net. They do like 1300, 1350. It seems like. So somewhere around there, like 1250 net is what I would get. Me personally, it's not a card I'd want, so I'd probably offer you $1,000, I guess. I wouldn't sell it to me. You can get someone that'll pay you more for it, especially like a repacker. They love stuff like that. So would not sell it to me. I guess if you're really desperate, you could sell it to me. But personally, I would not. I would not sell it to me. So there you go. I'm negotiating against myself. Let's see. Could you look up the price of a raw 2024 Bowman Chrome U Black Wave Cooper flag? All right. I will do that for you. Because there are no callers, because everybody's shy today, I will do that. So it was I mean, well, we can just look it up here. 2024 Bowman Chrome Flag Black Wave. This one right here. So it sells for like $50. Yeah, $50 to $60, and a PSA 10 is like 160-ish, 180, 150, 140. So 40 for $50 in that range, and then PSA 10s like 150 to 180. It seems like. How and where did you sell your first Steven Matz card? That's a good question. So I bought it on eBay. Okay, so this is what I think happened. I bought it on eBay for $500 on the dot, and back then there was no sales tax on eBay for cards, so I paid $500 flat. And what happened is, so what I used to do is I wouldn't ship the cards to myself. I'd ship them right to my buddy in Texas. He got it Friday. He drove to Beckett. He did a 1-day service. It cost me $25. It got a 9.5. Then he shipped it back to me. I got it. I put it on eBay because I had no connections or didn't know anything at the time. And then someone messaged me to like do a deal off of eBay, and I didn't know what that meant or why he wanted to do that, but I learned it's because it saves us both money on fees. I probably shouldn't be saying that out loud. Hopefully eBay doesn't ban me. And then what did I do? He paid me through PayPal, and I just remembered netting $888. I remember that exact number. So eBay, and then the guy asked me in a private message to do the deal off of eBay. He gave me his email or phone number, and then I asked my buddy who was kind of mentoring me. His name is Dylan. He's the one that got me into sports cards. I asked him, "What's up with this?" And then he told me it's okay, and then I sold it off eBay. So that's kind of what happened. Um, Man, I gotta ask, why don't you guys want to call in today? Is everybody like the number is not working? It's going straight to voicemail. Are you calling the right phone number? AMA Fishing 813-618-2075. I don't think it's going right to voicemail. A bunch of people would be saying it if it was. What do you think of the PSA eBay process versus receiving graded cards and listing them yourself? So yeah, me personally, I would do it myself because the best way to grow is by uh, gaining connections. So that's the best thing you could ever do because with the eBay there's fees and you don't want to auction every card because some cards are better auctioned, some cards aren't. That's a whole different conversation. But you want to be in control, right? You want to gain connections. When you gain connections, people pay you through Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, and there's no fees, right? So me personally, I'm not a fan of it. I've messed around with it though, sending cards right to PSA from eBay. But I personally would not do it because the most powerful thing is building connections, right? You don't want to build a whole business and it's reliant on somebody else, and you have to because you're outsourcing everything. I see that happen in my world. Just to give you an example from my own industry, like info marketing, like coaching and helping people. So many people in my world don't want to learn how to run ads or don't want to learn how to build and manage a sales team. And what they'll do is they will outsource all their ads. They'll get some marketing agency who's not that good to begin with, and then they become solely reliant on the marketing agency, and the marketing agency jacks up their fees, and the business owner can't do anything because they're at their mercy. So I would not. I'm not a fan of outsourcing. I'm a fan of learning everything yourself, keeping everything in-house. In the long term, it's cheaper and it's less stressful because you actually control everything. So that's my take on like outsourcing versus not outsourcing. And this is like just a weird way of outsourcing sports cards. That I would not do. Hopefully that helps you out. And AMA Fishing, yeah, the number is not going to voicemail. The number works unless I'm wrong. Someone just called in before, so don't think it's going to voicemail. let's continue with our card search. I mean, hey, if you guys don't want to call in, it just gives me an opportunity to buy some cards. Uh, let's take a look here. I'm gonna continue to go down. I'm gonna continue to go down my Bowman Chrome list. I have a list of guys who. Oh, I definitely spelled that wrong. Montez, Bowman Chrome, Lazaro Montez. Yep, not Lazario. It's Lazaro Montez. I did a little bit of research. Let's see. Orange. Let's see. See what his stuff sells for. Lazaro Montez, blue, Bowman Chrome. And also, what's interesting is a lot of these guys on my list of like who I think are good purchases are 2023. So now, and the reason a lot of these guys are 2023 is because now they're finally expected to make their first start this upcoming spring, which should generate hype and momentum. Which is like I try to buy guys when it comes to baseball, like guys that'll have their first start this upcoming spring, because those are the guys that generate the most amount of hype and excitement. So, kind of what I try to stick to. Let's see, gold refractor, yellow refractor, and then also if I'm buying cards already graded, I try to stick to the original colors, which is just refractor, blue, gold, and orange. This guy's not badly priced. He has that at 11.50. Jake and Grandpa's store. Lazaro Montez. So the last one at 9.29, 9.20, 8.60. The last sale was a month ago. Let's see how my boy Lazaro Montez is doing. I just like look at their stats to kind of just so I know like whether they're hurt, not hurt. Because I don't follow all these guys. 6'5" from Cuba, and this year 2 teams. He is hitting 218 on one team and 268 on the other, and he's stroking it. Got 18 and 32 homers. I guess I think my buddy told me that he's kind of like a Yordan Alvarez like comp. So let's take an offer on that. Man, no? Okay, I'll even go up to $900. The last one did 928. Good offer. A good offer. Don't decline it. And he declined it. That's probably just overpriced. I don't want to pay over comps. Oh shit. This is wait, this is an in-person autograph, right? Looks kind of good. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. It looks pretty good, but yeah, that's an in-person autograph. I try to stay away from the in-person autographs just because they're a little less desirable for whatever reason. I don't really know why, but they are. Lazaro Montez red. That's pretty sick for $30,000. Orange. This guy's just terribly overpriced. So is this guy. Yeah, it's not even worth offering. Let's see who else we got. Harry Ford. Bowman Chrome. No collar still? Huh. Strange. Harry Ford. So Harry Ford, when his cards came out, I remember he was like super hyped. Bowman Chrome 2021. Let's look at a blue. To kind of give me like a does not have a blue. Let's see. PSA 10's $200. It's orange in 2024. So it's okay. So it's PSA 10. It's like auto the last 200. It's kind of all over the place. Gold refractor, Harry Ford. Take a look here. Any comps on a gold? $700. This guy is just, this is probably like 12 to 1500. I'll come in and offer 12, but probably gonna be no good. Oh, I went through. All right, you never know. You never know. Hopefully, I could snag 1 or 2 of these. Harry Ford gold. Guys, starting the auction. I hate people that do this. He's starting the auction at $1,000. But it says C notes. I wonder what's wrong with the notes. Ford autos are incredibly rare. Not many parallels. Oh, this guy's a whole list. Oh my god, the whole list of what's not in there. Hmm. This is his true gold. So that I mean that oh not this. That makes his stuff a little bit more desirable. Yeah, I should offer on this. So let's see here. Harry Ford, raw gold at $700. No other sales. And actually, let me refer back to this list. I guess he doesn't have blues. Yeah, he has no blues. They have gold waves. Gold wave, it says. PSA 10 to 345. That's all the way back in. There's just not a lot of sales of this guy. Harry Ford. So let's look at this. They did $700 in June, and then let's compare it with his base auto. So let's look at a graph real quick. So what I'm looking for is to just see how much more or less he's worth. So right here, at the time this sale occurred of $600, it says now, I guess. Uh, his Bowman Chrome Auto was like 200, and it seems like it's just around the same now. So knowing that, this card is probably worth this PSA 10. Probably worth actually like 1,500, but this is a card I want. So I'll bid on this last second. Guy made a mistake starting this auction. So it just like started at 99 cents, right? Like I'll bid like, let's see, 1612. That should win me the card. At least I think. Yeah, I've had some pretty bad luck bidding recently, but yeah, that's a pretty nice find. I think I'll get that at a good deal unless one of you guys were watching to steal it from me. But I think that's a pretty good deal. Hmm. Yeah, let's go back to some questions in the chat. Let's see here. The number's not working. It's going to voicemail. I don't think it's going to voicemail. I swear I typed it and it says voicemail box not set up yet. That's strange. Is it working? Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe it is going right to voicemail. Oh man, that's man, the tech has been this terrible lately. But I'll answer your question anyway. Sorry about that. Would you? What question was? Would you account for a loss while starting with eBay to buy raw then flip until you hang? So yeah, how'd that guy call in the first place? Really interesting. Yeah. So just with sport, the good thing about sports cards, you don't like you're not going to take a big loss starting. So like that's why like obviously I'm a proponent of coaching programs and paying for the information so you speed up your success, right? And obviously I know it's not like I'm selling myself here to buy my program, but like cuz you're going to lose a lot of money in the beginning, doing it yourself. So it's like just fast track that so you don't need to waste your time and just learn it right away. So, would you account for a loss? Yeah, that you have to. Like, I know this sounds corny, but you must fail in order to succeed. Just in business, in life, and failing in the case of business is losing money. So you must, unless you get really lucky, you just know what you're doing from the get go. You're probably going to lose a little bit of money in the beginning, making mistakes, and then you learn from your mistakes, then you get better and better. So, yeah, you have to, unless you buy a coaching program or pay someone for mentorship, but you're still losing in the beginning, right? Because you just spent money on a coaching program. So, that's why they say in life it takes money to make money. There's just no free way to start making an income stream. You have to learn, you know, taking time and trialing and error or, paying for someone else's knowledge. There's no other way to learn, right? Unless you're like the smartest guy ever. So that's what I would say. Let's see if there's any other questions. Sorry about the phone. Oh, you did? Here, I think the phone should be working now. I think we just got it fixed. Sorry about that. So if you want to call in with your question and go a little bit more in depth, Fishing Man, feel free. Sorry about that. But the phone, it says it's good now. Yeah, so the phone's good now. There's just a little glitch with like the service, I think. So Ford will probably be called up in the spring. Yeah, that's the point. That's the point, to buy him now before he gets called up. What is your opinion on the new white parallel that got featured in 2024? They actually have great eye appeal. So, and they have good margins too. So, I mean, I'm just buying cards to buy, grade, and sell for the most part, something like that. So, I'm just looking at the margins. So, like, do they have good margins or do they not? So, um, if you look here, instead of me guessing, what you could do is just look. So, like, take an example of like Castle White Prism 2024. So this is the card you're talking about, and there's no PSA 10s. All right. So I don't know why there's no. Oh, that's a white wave. Are you talking about a white laser? This one? I mean, this, you can see this has good margins. 168 raw, and a 10 sells for 416. So that's pretty good. But yeah, and then there's another. Isn't there another white? Like white? Oh yeah, this is it. White out of 75. This is the actual white. Yeah, so that you can see, right? 291 raw this sells for, and a PSA 10 lasted 858. And what you could do is you could see how hard or not hard this variation is to grade. So if you look at like 2024 white, wait, hold on. Sales. Okay. White Prism 2024 Castle. Oh, let's look here. So okay, so it's kind of hard to grade. 10 out of 40 have gotten a PSA 10. So, but you're making good money. So I would only buy something like this if you're a little bit more experienced and you've been doing it, because it's a harder card to grade. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, they're liquid. I mean, any Prism card is liquid, to be honest. When it comes to PC, who do you got? So my only PC, and when I think of PC stands for personal collection. For those of you guys that don't know, PC. The only thing I PC is 1933 Gaudi Babe Ruths. To be perfectly transparent with you, I just think they're undervalued. I like the way they look. I like history. I like Babe Ruth, even though I'm a Mets fan. So that's the only stuff I buy. When I find a decent deal, I just stash it away, stash it away, stash it away. So yeah, that's what I would do. If you're 17 and you can't get a job and don't have $2,000, but you have $250, what would I do to start making money? You can get a job at 17. I was delivering pizza at 17. I'm a big proponent of delivering pizza, because you kind of have like time freedom. You can kind of like, take a break in your car for like 20 minutes, go on eBay, buy some cards. That's what I would do. I would I would literally like like, it was funny as I was like making money with sports cards. I would like literally deliver pizza to get cash to buy cards, because I kept spending all the money I had. So I always had almost no money in my bank account. So I like, was on projected to make like $100 in a day, and I'd go and find a card for $100, go win it, deposit the cash in my bank on my way home after I was done working, buy the card, and then I was back down to zero. So a lot of times I would just deliver pizza to like literally buy a card. And then yeah. So, but you can get a job at 17. Like $250 is, it's kind of hard to start with 250, man. The best way to do it is going to card shows with that little amount of money and just finding like quick flips. So you don't even have to get them graded, because with $250, you'll just spend the money and just sit on your hands for a month, 2 months, 3 months, waiting for cards to get back. And you probably don't know what you're doing if you haven't done cards before. So it'll probably not get grade well, and you'll even lose the money. So just going to dollar boxes at card shows and just finding cards for $1 and flipping them for $5, $10. That's probably the fastest way, to be honest with you. So that would be my advice. By the way, I think the phone number is working now. So are there any callers? Does it work? Nah. No one said sell drugs. No, don't sell drugs. Don't sell drugs. That you could make money doing that, but I would not sell drugs. I'm stuck helping the family business. So the family business, isn't that working? Like, right? Isn't that working? Don't you get paid to help the family business? And if they're not paying you, I know this sounds like a fucked up move. But if my family was making me work without paying, that's just them taking advantage of me without looking out for my future. And I would just demand to be paid or not work for them and get another job. That's what I would do personally, to be honest, because you're just wasting your time, and it's kind of unfair to have someone work without paying, even if it's not a lot of money. Hopefully that helps. That's what I would do, and I'm not saying that's ethically right or wrong. But I'm just saying that's what I would do. In your opinion, what's the best Facebook groups to move cards? Just the biggest ones. So they're all the same. They're all the same crap. Like the biggest one I'm in is Panini Prism. That seems pretty good. Yeah, we got a caller. Phone's back on. You got Eric Michael, you're live.
Hey, Eric, this is Walter.
What's up, Walter? How may I help you?
Not much. Hey, as much as I hate that I have to call you to ask for a price on a card, because I always listen to you, and I said my first call, I don't want it to be asking for a price,
Oh man,
but I have to do it.
I will say I'm relieved by the way you were saying that. I thought you were gonna say something much crazier, like, Eric, I hate to say it, but you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about or something.
No. Hey, I can be honest too, and I actually posted on the chat before. At first, when I first saw you, I thought it was a scam, and I
At
can
least you're honest.
guarantee you're not.
Are you in the program or no?
No, I'm not. But I listen to every show. I hear a lot of your free content. I was the one that told you what time I was going to Tampa, tell me what to do.
Oh yeah.
You remember
that's
that?
right. Yeah. So out of curiosity, before I answer your question, just I always like to pick people's brain. Out of curiosity, when you before, I guess now you don't think I'm a scam, but when you first thought I was a scam, what gave you that inclination that you thought, obviously? And when you say scam, I'm assuming you just meant like you figured I didn't know what I was talking about, right?
Yes. Well, 2025, it's so easy to scam people
Yeah, that's true.
now, and especially with
true.
all the social media. And at first, just filling up your name and all that and receiving the text and the call. And I was like, wait,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not sure about this.
Oh yeah. Well,
But then when I started listening to
Gotcha.
your shows, I'm like, oh, he's actually giving knowledge for free.
Yeah. So
I hear you telling people don't buy it if you don't have money.
oh yeah. So I have so many things to say to that real quick. So number one, you probably saw an ad and opted in, and you got called by our sales team and got texted, right?
Yep.
So obviously we have a sales team that sells the program. I don't sell it. I don't have the time to do that. And then number two, what I would say, and this is helpful for you or anyone, and I've spent probably $300,000 to $400,000 on coaching programs. Not with sports cards, but learning how to build a business, post content, all that stuff. So I bought them all, right? And there is no scam. It's like a spectrum, right? So in high school, for example, I had a really shitty geometry teacher. He was terrible. His name was Mr. Reynolds. Okay, terrible. He knew geometry. He just sucked at teaching. So it wasn't a scam. It was just really hard to pass his class. And then the next year I had this guy for algebra. Algebra 2, I think, is after geometry. His name was Mr. Schneider. He got way more people to get A's because he was a much better teacher. People liked him. He was easy to listen to. He was very clear, neat handwriting. Mr. Reynolds had sloppy handwriting, would speak at 100 miles an hour, would give tons and tons of homework that was useless. So one wasn't a scam. Just one is a better teacher than the other that gets better results from students. So all these online programs, you see me and all these other people, none of them are scams. None of them you're going to give them money and they're just going to disappear. It's just some are better teaching it than others. That's all it is.
Yeah. It's just when you're always a little afraid of.
Of course.
It's when you make your first deal selling cards. You're like, wait, is the person gonna say he didn't get the card? Or,
yeah. A lot of fears to get over. But what?
Yeah, there's always something.
What card can I comp for you?
So it's nothing big. I have a Jason Tatum short print. It's a hypnotized scope. from premium stock 2023.
Okay, wait. 23. Tatum, hip, no ties. Oh wait, isn't it like? Wait a second. I looked up this card one time and it's spelt weird. Tatum, isn't it like hip HIP?
Yeah. Yep. It is HIP.
Yeah. Did you ask you didn't ask me about this card one time?
No.
Well, the card is apparently worth about $20 and a 10's worth about $196.
Okay, that was my question. A 10.
Yep, 10 is
'Cause
one
I have
sale
a
at
PSA 10.
$96. Yeah, one sale at $96 in May, so right around there.
All right. Sounds good. See, you found it so easy, and I was struggling finding it. What about a 2024
Okay.
Panini Prism Diana Taurasi White Ice, number 235?
Oh, wait, what's the year?
No, what was that?
What's the year again?
24.
24. Tarasi's Taurasi, is that right? Tarasi, yep.
Yeah.
And what is it? It's a white
Ice, number 235.
white. Oh, spelled white wrong. White ice at 35. I don't see any sales, but a PSA.
I know there's
8.
only 2 PSA 9, which are the higher. There's no PSA 10. One of them is mine, the 9. So that's why I'm asking.
Wait, why does it say? Oh, something funny about this card. This guy posted it. There's some random sale on eBay, and he put Caitlin Clark pictured, and Caitlin Clark's pictures on the back. On the back, so I guess he's trying to increase the value. I think that's kind of funny. But the card's worth like $15 to $10 to $20 in that range. Not graded. Is yours the 10?
No, it's a 9, and it's the highest. There's only 2 9s. There's no 10.
So probably like $30 by the ballpark.
All right. Yeah, fair. All right. Hey, one last question. I don't want to take a lot of your time.
Yeah, you're good.
Do you have anyone that do this coaching stuff in Spanish? It's just out of curiosity. If you notice, I have an accent, so.
Good question. Yes, we have one coach that speaks full Spanish. So that guy who I was talking about that used to play AAA baseball, he speaks full Spanish.
Okay.
Me personally,
Oh,
I don't. But yeah, we have one coach that speaks full Espanol.
Oh, that's good to know. See, I cannot be your first Spanish coach then.
Yeah, no, we got one. But yeah, most people speak English. So, but a lot of the, I don't know that much about Spanish, but it may be easier to learn it in English because there's probably a lot of words in sports cards that only exist in English.
Yeah, well, I was just curious about it.
Oh yeah, we only market in the United States, so it's few and far between. We get people international. We do that on purpose because it's the easiest to make money if you're in the USA. We get some, like, I think we had some guy join the program from Taiwan. We've seen some Korea, Australia, but like
there's a lot of collectors from Puerto Rico where I'm from, and it's a U.S. territory. So
yeah. We gotten some from Puerto Rico as well. My business partner is actually Puerto Rican. He owns half the business,
good,
but I'm close to this family. I've been to Puerto Rico a bunch. Beautiful country. But
oh yeah, it is beautiful.
Yeah, most people speak English. But yeah, if you joined, I could hook you up with the Spanish coach.
Yeah, well, man, thank you for taking. I don't want to take more of your time.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, thanks for calling in. I appreciate you letting me know that you thought I was a scam at first, but now you've don't think as much anymore, which I appreciate.
Yeah, no, I don't. I really don't. I mean, like I said, I hear all your videos, so I know you're not now.
Well, appreciate it. Yeah, keep me updated, and if you sell those cards, and call back in the future.
All right, have a good one.
All right, bye. More callers? I knew something was wrong. I knew I wasn't this unpopular. Hey, what's up? You got Eric? You're live.
Hey, Eric, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up, man? What's your name?
Oh, I got an echo, but my name's my Chris from Minnesota. I've gotten to man. I have an echo. Can you hear an echo on your end?
Do you? We don't hear an echo. Someone just called in and it was fine. Um,
Oh no.
but we can hear you clear.
All right, I'll try to power through this. I just got into cards again this year. Just buying some singles and stuff, and I
Yep.
actually came across your page just a couple weeks ago, and I watched you at the national, and it just seemed super frustrating that you were like getting all these comps, 1,000,
Yeah.
950, and they were selling them for 1,400, 1,300, and they just wouldn't budge. Did you ever?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like, did you ever circle back and they
No.
end up going lower, or was people holding pretty firm there? I've never been to the national, so it's just a unique experience watching you.
Yeah. I appreciate it. So, yeah. Okay. So keep in mind the people at the national, right? They pay like the reality of sports card dealers is a lot of them sell
Yeah.
cards to people. I don't want to say they're unsuspecting customers, but like it's your average Joe, and they're just buying their favorite player, hoping their player plays well, and they don't really know how to look at comps. And so that's like a lot of
Sure.
it. People that own card shops. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. That's number one. Number two, a lot of the dealers pay thousands of dollars to be there, right? It costs thousands to set up to even be able to. They gotta some bring employees, and then they are drive there with all their cards. It's very expensive. So like that is like the most overpriced show. And number three, the last thing I would say about it is the sports card market is so hot. Like, so I set up at a local Tampa show where I live. This was a few weeks ago, and like I had my stuff like at like comps, like full market value. That was what I was asking, and people were buying it left and right. And the dealers I talked to told me the same thing. They're like, "Wow, like I don't even have to move off my sticker price. People are just buying everything." So like, you know, if you were a dealer and you could sell a card for more than less, you would do the same. So I can't blame them.
Mhm.
And then number two, yeah, someone who's like, if a card's worth $900 and the dealer doesn't want to move off 1,300, there's no hope. Just move on. You're not going to say anything to convince them otherwise. It's just part of the game, right? That's just buying and selling anything. Like if you go to a car dealership, this is why car salesmen get bad raps. They will try to sell you the car for as much as humanly possible and then get you on financing to screw you over even more, right? So like,
Mhm.
that's business. That's just money, man. That's just life. So like I don't blame dealers, trying to make as much money as possible. Now, what I would say to that is this is what people fail to realize, and now I'm going on a little bit of a rant here, is if you're a dealer and you have a card for $1,000, and let's say you paid 600, you could either wait 2 months to sell that card for 1,000 or lower your price to 900, get that money right away and reinvest it. So by being fair, you actually make much more money in the long run because you're able to turn the money over quicker and people like you more. So like, you're able to build connections much easier if you're like one of the few dealers that are fairly priced. So it's like give and take. But yeah, that's just, I always joke. You could probably see on the camera. I always joke like that, like dealers are overpriced, and I always make jokes of it. But it's just life, right?
Yeah. And I didn't watch that video and like take it that way, like that the dealers were terrible people and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like, and I just walking around, it's like, oh, comp, 100, 200 over nonstop. That'd be frustrating to me. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like it's like playing Russian roulette. So like most cards are overpriced, right? And like you could have a card for $1,000, and let's say the dealer's asking 1,400, right? Some dealers, you could say to them, "Hey, the last sale did 1,000. Would you consider 900?" And they'll come down and do a deal with you. But then some, you just piss off, and then they get really pissed, don't want to talk to you, like, "I know what I have," blah 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 blah, and they're like unhappy to be there. So like, it's kind of like Russian roulette when deals are overpriced. Sometimes you could piss them off a lot, and people in cards, and sometimes people are negotiable and they're just starting their prices high. So there's also that element too. And like I try to like gauge, like I try to like say it in like a nice, funny way and not piss the dealer off. But like I have pissed a lot of people off in sports cards before, unfortunately. So yeah, hopefully I don't know. I just went on a rant, but hopefully that helps you.
No, you're good. I just have one other quick question too. Like, So I'm in Minnesota, so I'm only a 6-hour drive from Chicago. I've never
Yep.
been in the National, but I think I'm gonna go next year with some buddies.
Yep.
My question is, what would you purchase just for an entry fee? Like, I don't need all extra crazy stuff. I just don't want to wait in like crazy line. Like, I'm not interested in standing around the block. Some of those lines look ridiculous.
You probably have to buy the VIP pass. I don't know. Could you cut lines? Cause like I had like a camera crew and stuff. I was able to cut the line.
Okay.
So I don't really know how the lines work. To be honest, I bought the most basic ticket, but because like they kind of know me and I had a bunch of cameras and stuff, I just cut the line. I was able to do that. So like I don't think I'm able to give you a good answer there. I don't know if anything cuts the line, to be honest, unless you're a dealer.
Fair enough. All right. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, dude. Go crush it out there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Are they flying in now? Flying in? We're flying in? Like Hermosi, 7-hour live stream. My favorite business YouTuber just went like live for 7 hours. It was crazy. Hey, what's up? You have Eric. You're live.
Hey, it's Antonio.
What's up, Antonio? How may I help?
Hey, I'm doing good. Just got to the whole Pokemon thing, and then what's your take on sealed product
On what product?
versus the raw and flipping also?
What'd you say? What product?
The sealed, like, you know how they have a ETB, or they'll have a big case of like 10 packs.
Yeah. So
What is your take on the investments of those?
Oh yeah, they're like think of buying sealed wax like buying like Disney or an Apple stock. Steady, goes up over time. Usually it's slow. It's kind of a good place to put extra money. That's kind of the best analogy.
Okay, but starting out, don't just jump right into there.
No.
No,
You're just gonna be sitting on your hands unless you have like, tens or hundreds of thousands to spend. You want to be buying the singles and flipping and playing the quick game so you can build up to that point where you have enough extra cash. So yeah, it's like buying an Apple stock. It's not gonna make you rich.
Good. Yeah, because I have like about 1,000 just to get into. I want it to just support itself. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to aim that.
Yeah, the $1,000 I would and buy Pokemon raw to flip. It's steady, big margins. There's a lot of they're easy-ish to grade. That's probably the route I would go. Buying Pokemon to flip if you have $1,000.
Yeah, perfect. Because of course, I'm a big fan of football, but for the rest of the sports, still trying to learn ropes of those. That's going to fill in the meantime while I'm studying and learning.
Yeah,
football's already over.
Yeah, football so like. Have you listened to a lot of my content?
Oh, of course, but that's why I was knowing that right now is not the time to buy anymore.
Okay, so
I almost got into basketball, and I think I bought in an area where I just know nothing about. So now I'm sitting on some basketball cards I don't know what to do with yet.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't matter how much you know or little you know. Just you need to know what types of cards sell. So like Prism and Optic. Like I don't know anything about Pokemon, to be honest. I know Pikachu and Charizard, and that's really it after that. So you just need to be buying liquid stuff and buying stuff at the right margin. So it's sports cards is a numbers game as long as you're buying the right types of products. I wouldn't overthink it.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Sweet. Good luck out there, Antonio.
Thanks, brother.
All right, bye. It's weird. Some people get an echo and some people don't. It's strange. Let's call some people back. People. Hey, what's up? You have Eric? You're live?
Hey, Eric. How you doing? Joe from Chicago.
Joe from Chicago. The city of Chicago or one of the suburbs?
Yep. So I've been watching the show for a little while.
Yeah.
Learning.
Nice.
I'm coming from the comic community.
Okay.
Buying selling comics, so I'm getting the cards.
Wait, sorry, Joe, your voice is going in and out. Can you like either take it off speaker or put it on speaker?
Is that better?
I think so. Keep going.
So I'm coming from the comics.
Okay.
I buy and sell comics, and I just got into cards this year.
Yep.
And I see how people talk about comps when they buy and sell cards.
Yeah.
But I don't think like every comp is comparable. Some cards have issues, So when people throw a comp at you at a show or whatever,
Yep.
they're not all created equal in my opinion.
Correct. So for the most part, a PSA 10 is a PSA 10. So if
Yeah, we're talking about raw cards, things like that.
yeah, correct. Yeah. So usually a better raw card in good condition will sell for 20% higher, 10, 20% higher. Sometimes they don't. So yeah, you're 100% correct. Not every raw card is made equal. And then with vintage cards, it's the same thing. So like if you take, I don't know how much you know about cards, but let's take a 1933 Gaudy Babe Ruth, right? That's my favorite card. You could have a PSA 2 sell for 7,000 and then a PSA 2 sell for 10,000 because not every PSA 2 is equal. The eye appeal of it, some may have a stain on it, some may have great eye appeal. The eye appeal of a card, even though it's the same grade, will vary the amount it sells for by like 20, 30, 40% sometimes. But you're right, not every raw card is made equal. Yeah.
And then my other question was, I'm really big in the class from 24-25 football. I've been collecting like Caleb Williams, Doomsday, because I'm from Chicago.
Yep.
Are you a hold on Caleb Williams right now?
So I assume you haven't listened to a lot of my content then. So piece of advice, this is going to save you years and a lot of money. Most guys don't perform up to expectations. So my rule is when a season starts, so football starting, all my football cards are sold. I have none on me. So I think I have no football cards on me, maybe like one or two. Because if you go back to last year, right? So like last year, the popular quarterbacks was Stroud, Levis, Anthony Richardson, and Bryce Young. All the like Levis and Richardson are worth like 10% of what they used to be. Stroud, who even had a good year, is worth half of what he once was, and Bryce Young is also worth much less as well. So the problem with buying Caleb Williams,
and I've been actually kind of looking into that, and I saw some reports and reading some stuff about how some of the more rarer cards, like the 1 in 25s, the 1 in 5s, and they were looking at, I think it was Jaden Daniels silver, and they were talking about how his values have dropped because of population and stuff.
Yep.
But the lower like numbered cards, things of those actually went up like 6%.
Yeah. So whether it's you're right. So like the more common cards a lot of times go down slowly as the season starts to get closer because there's just more PSA 10s in existence, right? Higher supply means less demand, means prices are going to go down. But what I would say is whether it's out of 25, gold, silver, doesn't matter. The reality is like Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, these guys, their values are high right now. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of hype right around Ben Johnson. He has 2 good tight ends. He has DJ Moore, Doomsday, and this and that. So you're just buying it at a high. Now, I can't make guarantees, but if I could bet a lot of money, I would, that Caleb Williams' value will be worth less week 5 than it is today. It just happens 95% of the time. I could be wrong, obviously. But you're just buying it at a high. It's like, why buy it at a high if you're a believer in him? Me personally, I'd wait till he drops. I can guarantee you he's going to have 2 or 3 bad games in a row. I think me personally, I'm high on the Bears. My favorite bet of week 1 is the Bears home to Vikings plus 2.5 on Monday night. I think that's insane. The fact they're underdogs to McCarthy and I think that's crazy, but that's a different story.
And I have listened, with regards to basketball. So I've been going out and buying heavy Montags, getting it fairly cheap.
Okay, nice. Same concept. You just want to make sure that stuff is sold before the season begins, because especially with the basketball, like these guys are like no names. A lot of them, just a lot of them are going to be worth less because it's hard to maintain that level of hype and excitement. Just don't listen to me. Just go back in recent years, go on marketmovers.com and just look at other quarterbacks that were hyped going to the season and see if their value maintained. Almost none do.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Eric, man. You great advice as usual, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Good luck.
Thanks.
More callers? No more? Cool. We'll wrap this up. Sorry about the little phone tech issue. It seems like there's always freaking tech issues, man. It annoys me just as much as it probably annoys you. We do have a free PDF below, step-by-step how to make money with sports cards in 2025. It's just to give free value. I promise. There's nothing for sale. I promise. Take my word for it. But like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next show.